All right, shalom, shalom. This is your brother JAHsh, sometimes known as JAHsh, my brother Chris, and it's feeling real good out here today. We should get about 70 or so, not too cold. So, you know, why not venture out and walk around? So, I wanted to discuss a couple things. You know, first and foremost, we give all praises to Yah, otherwise known as YAHAWAH, who is Akkad, which means one, and which everybody should know. Yahweh is one. And I got my little coffee, you know what I mean? Out here, blue skies, you know, the color of zeets. Yeah. So I just want to discuss a few things because Torah Nights did a video recently on, it was basically titled Uh-oh. And uh-oh meaning a number of things, one of them being the problem that Israelite men have and Israelite cleavers have. And a cleaver is one who is a Gentile but cleaves to the ways of the Israelites, right? And if anybody watches this and they want me to go more in depth about things that I talk about, because sometimes I don't have a lot of time on these walks, just leave a comment and I'll go more in depth with it. If you don't understand a phrase that I use or a type of terminology. But for the sake of continuity, I'm just going to continue on. So the video was about hateful messages that she receives from so-called sisters. And I say so-called, right? Because they're only sisters by name and not by being. They don't act real sisterly. You know what I mean? So, to make a long story short, if you're reading the Torah and a Gentile wants to cleave to Yahshua and cleave to the Torah and learn the teachings of Yahweh, then A, they do that by other Israelites, and B, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So a lot of the problems that we see is really existential things, right? Color issues. For instance, in the video, uh-oh, you can check that on Judah Nazara's site, probably Tretel's site also in Talina. And big ups to them, by the way, for them garments, beautiful garments. I'm gonna sketch up something, send it to y'all. They putting in work, and they living by this Torah. I say these Torah, but I mean these teachings, which is essentially the Torah. So, sorry, I just get so delightful when I think about the Torah itself. And all praises to Yahweh, man. You just feel blessed to know that Yahweh's spirit is within you. You know, something to be happy about. That's an accomplishment. If you can't accomplish anything in this world, in this life, man, be receptive to what Yahweh wants you to do. Be receptive to Yahweh. Speaking of reception, man, this electric pole that's over here is letting off some vibrations, man. Wow. I don't know if y'all can hear that. This is crazy. Anyhow, not to veer off subject. So sisters aren't acting too sisterly, especially to a Gentile woman who wants to cleave to the Torah. You which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And so she issued a challenge to all the so-called sisters out there who have such a big problem with her being a so-called white girl married to a so-called black man who just so happens to be an Israelite, right? That's essentially the problem, is that they don't like a white girl married to a black man. They just don't like it, which is not it, which in reality is none of their concern anyway, because how do we say, get a life? Who people sleep with and who people are with shouldn't be anybody's concern anyway, because you can't call someone a stranger based off skin color. You just can't do it, right? Because Yahawah will end up using them to thwart you. Will end up using them to confound you and make you look foolish. This is a spiritual battle. We got a lot of idiotic people in YAHsh who are really Israelites by blood. We got a lot of idiotic, a lot of idiotic Israelites who are Israel by blood, who have got Hashatan all dancing in their brain, man. They don't have Yahawah's lights. They don't have that temple, Sorry if I'm yelling, man. Maybe it's the coffee. But, it's a beautiful day. So I want to address my comments in the video because I read the comment board. Leaving me comments like I said, our people, our sisters are slow. Josh said this, Josh said that. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of our so-called sisters, when I say our sisters are slow, these are the ones that are the so-called sisters. Ooh, it's a lot of wind right here. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, so when I say our sisters are slow, right? What is slow? Slow means not fast. And I don't mean fast in the sense of a whore. I mean, our sisters are slow in the sense that they're not quick to pick up on the truth of the matter. They're not quick to pick up on the truth. They're not quick to pick up on this Torah. And they're still under the spell of the coloring book, of the color scheme, right? Because you got to understand, when people talk, they're talking in context. So if you're going to leave a comment, you gotta put it in context. If I say our sisters are slow, am I talking about all of our sisters? No, I'm not, especially those who I deem sisters, because I understand that everyone comes into realizations and comes into truth at a different pace. In fact, I would be going against myself if I was to say everybody was supposed to learn things at the same time. That's just idiotic, you know what I'm saying? So context is key. Context is key. So the context of the video is about so-called sisters who have a problem with a white girl, so-called, marrying a black man, and can't justify that using Torah. And the only way that they can justify their hate is by their own hearts, their own wicked hearts, I should say. Because once again, in the Torah, in the Tanakh, if the stranger wants to cleave to Yahsh and learn about Yahawah from Yahsh, they have every right to do so. There's nothing that anybody can do to change that. Whether we're in captivity or whether we're in the land physically. Something Torah Nights always talks about is the spiritual concepts of this Torah. First of all, you got to get into the promised land spiritually before you can even make it into the promised land physically. It's just that fact. Why do you think that we went into bondage? Right? Salakia, it's a lot of wind. So sorry about that. I just stopped it because I felt there was a lot of wind. Right now it's kind of calm. So I'm gonna try to get some of these thoughts out quick. But yeah. As soon as I said that, then the wind starts going. Okay, so what I want to do is continue further on about Israelites. You know, Israelites, man, y'all got to get it together. You know what I mean? You got to get it together mentally first. First, you got to get it together mentally. You know, I can't repeat that enough. All these concepts in the Torah, you've got to learn these things mentally, man. And for those who have studied psychology, they know about the soul and they know about the mental. The psyche is just another word for soul. A lot of things, they don't reveal that a lot of times in schools, but you got to get your mental together, because the mental faculties is the mind, your soul, you know. What's considered the heart is also considered the mind, also an extension of and the thing itself. Yahshua, you got to get it together. You know, we're relying on you. This world is relying on you. What are you going to do when the world gets blasted by YAHWAH so much that it's ready to just give it up and everything gets handed over to you to make wise decisions? What are you going to do? You can't make wise decisions if you don't even understand what the Torah is about. How you going to make a wise decision when you don't know wisdom? When you don't know these proverbials? You know? Hey, it is what it is. Brothers and sisters, man, don't end up being a so-called brother and a so-called sister. You know? It's hard to tell where you're going to end up. You know what I mean? Far be it from me to want you to have to be destroyed, or you destroy yourself and then go take a trip to the soul, to the heavenly realm inside, and just get feeling real stupid that you made stupid mistakes while you were in your flesh. You know what I'm saying? We make all little mistakes, but I'm talking about like grandiose mistakes mentally that's going to affect your soul. You know what I mean? That's something we got to think about, people. And this is that oral Torah. I might do a song or make a project. I was talking to a brother named, I guess, I forgot his name, man. It was like a Obadiah variant, Avadiah or something like that. Anyhow, the brother was talking about reading the oral Torah. And everybody who knows anything about the so-called oral Torah is that it's a Babylonian Talmudic recordings of devils, right? These so-called devils, these Idumeans and Assyrian, you know what I mean? So you can read that oral Torah if you want to, but that means you have no understanding of what oral Torah means. This is the oral Torah right now, right? I'm an Israelite. I'm talking. All praises to YAHWAH. May He open you up to the real oral Torah. The real oral Torah is the things that Yahshua speaks to you. It's continuous and it's present. It's presently here. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't run out. It's just about whenever you are linked up to it, then you're on that flow, so to speak. You're flowing with the oral Torah, right? It's flowing through you. Your people are hearing you speak the oral Torah. So, I'm just saying, there's a lot of misconceptions our people do and have, and then they come to Torah nights expecting to get one past us, you know what I'm saying? We're not racist, but we will call out any of our so-called brothers and sisters who are hating people based on skin color, man. You know what I'm saying? We're human too. We're here. We grew up in the hoods, in the streets, in the suburbs, in all places, right? So we know the little nuances, and we joke too. We joke about, you know, skin tone and people's ways, but when you're really getting down to it, to something that's going to save you mentally and save your soul, right? Then you know it ain't no play. It ain't no play. We don't play like that, man. So for all them sisters, so-called sisters, who are hating on Talina based on her skin color and won't step up to her challenge, and for all those who don't know what the challenge is, can you find in the Torah where YAHWAH says you cannot marry or be with a cleaver, a stranger, a foreigner, so-called, and who does not, who wants to cling to the Torah? Sorry. And of course, in the Hebrew, all those definitions have variances to them: cleaver, foreigner, stranger. But you all get the premise. And like I said, if there's anything you want me to clarify, just put it in the comment board, because I'm just talking right now. So, you know, all praise to YAHWAH. So, yeah, I mean, that's the challenge for anybody who's in the dark. That's the challenge. The challenge is for all you so-called sisters out there who claim to know the Torah, who claim to walk as Yasharal, who are Yasharal by blood, but not by spirit, right? Or if that's not you, if you do know the Torah, you are Yasharal by blood and by spirit, hey, then why aren't you fighting for this woman, this Gentile woman who wants to cleave to the Torah? Why aren't you fighting for her? Why aren't you lifting your voice for the oppressed, which, like YAHWAH told you to do? Right? We were oppressed. We are still oppressed, but we're coming out of it. What are you going to do? Turn around and oppress others? You're going to end up getting oppressed. Worse yet, your own are going to end up getting rid of you. We don't want that no more, man. Anyhow, I'm not going to get on that right now. We're going to stick to this, all right? So that's the challenge. The challenge is, can you find in the Torah and the Tanakh where YAHWAH is biased based on skin color? Specifically, skin tones. White, black. Because anybody who really studies the Torah is aware that white is actually a good thing and black is actually a bad thing as far as what their spiritual meanings are. But y'all need to tune into Torah Nights for those explanations. Tune into that brother Judah Natzara. You know, hey, a lot of people hate Judah Natzara, but that's okay, because a lot of people hate the Torah. Word them up. And you know, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everybody who tunes in, listens to the music. I appreciate those who YAHWAH has put before us that can actually take heed to these things that we say. You know, that's very humbling. In fact, you know, and that's one of the things that really gets me down sometimes, is that a lot of times we just don't feel like we're being heard by our own people, you know? That's just the way of this struggle. That's just the way of this walk. That's a small price to pay based on the knowledge of what YAHWAH is actually doing across this so-called globe and across this planet. You know what I'm saying? It's a small price to pay to bring the truth out of who we are. You know? Man. Yo, it's the marriage, man. YAHWAH's still inviting y'all. You're constantly being invited to this wedding. You know? It's a sad day, man, whenever a lot of our teachings have been taken and put into a New Testament, so to speak. You know? But these concepts are old, man. These dark sayings are old. This wisdom is old. You know? So hopefully the wind wasn't too bad on this one. I had to continue, you know, Salakia, because I didn't know how bad the wind was on the first recording. So anyhow, y'all check out the videos. Check out It's on Judah Natsara's page. And I just want to vent a little, express a little, appreciate. And I want to give a shout out to Lily of Zion, you know what I'm saying? You know, I appreciate you. I do. I love giving appreciations out. Appreciate Torah Nights, all the brothers, man. Wise, Lamad, YAHAWAH, Natsara. Even Negi sometimes I appreciate. Brother Chris, man, we gotta solidify what your Hebrew name is, and then, because it takes me a little bit of time to memorize names, you know. But we'll just go by the Romanesque meaning of it, right? Christopher, light bearer. You do bring light, though, brother. You bring light, so you do live up to that. You know what I mean? On a positive note. Con. So, yeah. All praises to Yahweh God. It's your brother JAHsh, aka JAHsh, aka Gingerbread is what they used to call me. And I'm signing out, y'all. So, shalom.